Okay, so, my name's Kaylee. I'm 15 years old, and I just woke up, like, maybe 40 minutes ago, and I had a rapture dream, or at least what was after it. So at first, in this dream, I was at this very fancy high school, and everybody was in this auditorium. There was prodigy kids who were in the last bits of elementary. Then there was kids who were in middle school and high school. And these rich people were walking around asking these kids, what is your dream? What do you want to do for the last bits of what time we have left here? And some kids were saying that they wanted to go to Japan or China, or they wanted to go to Paris, and some kids said they wanted to see a submarine, and other kids said they wanted to see a rocket ship, and just all these ideas that they wanted to go before whatever came. And I looked behind me as I was in this group of other kids surrounding me, and I could see this girl with long, wavy black hair, and she had this very gothic looking dress. And I walked up to her as she was drawing something on a piece of paper, and I said, "Hey, did you want to go somewhere that you always wanted to but couldn't?" And she was like, "Well, yes, I have the money to do it, but I just don't have the friends to do it with." We're like, "Well, what is it you wanted to do?" And she explained to us that she had a mansion on that could see the ocean behind it, but she was too scared to go by herself and wanted to do it with some sort of friends. And the group of kids and we all said yes, that we would do it. So we all drove to our house and put on whatever type of clothes that we could swim in, and we swam for a bit. And after we got off the water, we all said goodbye to each other and drove to our homes. But the streets were so terrible that I couldn't go back to my home. So we stopped by this abandoned building in the city. And we ran in because there was cars crashing. It was dark out. We couldn't see much, which was odd. It was 2 p.m. So we walked inside this building. We climbed the stairs to the top floor, and there was glass shattered everywhere, trash just on the floor. And we had this group of people who followed us in there, trying to find some sort of shelter. And then this message got broadcasted on everyone's phone. And it was a man, and he said, "Call, text, or go to your friend's or family's house. Tell them what you needed to tell them for a long time. Get it out before it happens. The asteroid is fixing to hit." So I take out my phone and I text my friends, "This is what I was talking about. You need to repent. Come to the Lord, please. This is what I was talking about." And I read Isaiah 40:26 to my friends, and they were crying and looking up, and everybody looked up into the sky. And they were crying and saying, please don't let this happen. Why does it have to be me? And as the asteroid was hitting and things were blowing up, it's like time reset itself and went back. But I was watching this man instead. He was in his house listening to the audio, and he was like, I need to get things ready. So he got dinner ready, he put it on the table, and he got these flowers, put it in a vase, and set it in the middle of the table. And he was waiting for his wife to get home from work. And she rushed into the door calling his name. And he shouted out, I'm here. I'm in the dining room. And he walked to her and held her hand and sat her down in the chair and just held her. And he kept whispering in her ear, I love you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done all those things. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I love you. And right then, I noticed that they were going through a divorce. And that they were having a really hard time loving each other before that. And this was their last moments together. And they just held each other and cried. And then you can see the glass get shattered. And then once again, the clock went back and the dream reset itself. And I was in this other area where I can see military tanks and these flight jets everywhere. And these people in these military suits. And they were trying to stop other people from going inside of this building. And you could just see a lot of people storming, like, the White House, or storming the Capitol, or just going in big areas trying to get answers, or trying to find somewhere to hide their children or get their family safe. And some of them were there for evil things, just to get one of the planes to do bad things with it. And I could see this man walking his kids to one of the military guys, and he said, please help my children. At least just take them into a bunker or something. Can you please help them? And the military guy, he was soft-spoken, and he said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And the man kept pleading with him, and his voice got louder, saying, please, just take my children. They need to be safe. And his kids were crying and crying. And the military man finally yelled at them and said, I can't. The bunkers, it's not opening. The bunkers won't open. The planes aren't working. There's no fuel to fill it up. You can't go anywhere. We're stuck here. And finally the man downed his head and walked away with his kids. And I looked up into the sky, and I seen my cousin, Amaya, standing really big in the sky with a staff in her hands, looking into nothing. And she tapped her staff twice on the ground, and the sky darkened, and you could see nothing when it was in the middle of the day. And we looked up, and there was pure silence in the world. You can hear nothing. And then this trumpet sound off. And then silence again. And you could hear people softly weeping as these horse hooves, you can hear horse hooves echo throughout the sky and clatter. And then my dream ended from there. And after this dream, I told my mom, and we looked up what my cousin's name meant. And when you look it up, it says Night Rain, the End, Mother City. And then we looked it up in Hebrew, and it said close to God, God's work, or God has made. But there's my dream, and I hope this can help somebody.